There is a kind of silence that follows a person who has lost everything they thought defined them. Not the peaceful silence of rest, but the hollow silence of a life stripped bare, where the titles are gone, the applause has faded, and all that remains is the question the world never asked but always wanted answered: who are you, really, when no one is watching? This is the story of how true reputation is earned. Not performed. Not purchased. Earned. For most of his adult life, Daniel believed that reputation was built through visibility. He chased it the way desperate men chase sunsets, always running, never arriving. He built his name loudly. He networked at every event, curated every online post, and kept a careful inventory of who owed him what. On paper, his life looked like proof that hard work paid off. A business. A following. A circle of people who called themselves his friends. But beneath all of it, there was a quiet rot that Daniel refused to name. He was anxious constantly. Not the productive kind of anxious that sharpens focus, the crushing kind that makes a man check his phone 40 times before breakfast, searching for validation in numbers that never felt like enough. He smiled in photographs but struggled to sleep. He gave speeches about resilience but crumbled in private. He had built a reputation for being strong, and that reputation had become a prison. Then the business failed. Not slowly. Suddenly. The kind of collapse that doesn't warn you, it simply arrives one morning and dismantles everything you spent years constructing. Partnerships dissolved. Money disappeared. And the people he had networked so carefully with became very busy, very quickly, with other things. The silence that followed was total. Depression doesn't announce itself like a storm. It seeps in like cold water through old walls. Daniel didn't recognize it at first. He told himself he was just tired. Just regrouping. Just taking a step back. But weeks turned into months, and he found himself unable to get out of bed before noon, unable to eat meals he didn't deserve, unable to look in the mirror without hearing a voice that catalogued every mistake he had ever made. This is the part of the story that most people skip over because it is uncomfortable and messy, and it doesn't look like the beginning of a comeback. It just looks like a man drowning in his own mind. But this was exactly where the real work began. Not the work of rebuilding the business. Not the work of reclaiming the audience. The work of understanding who he actually was, without a single thing to show for it. There was a moment, and there is always a moment, though it rarely looks dramatic, when Daniel stopped fighting the silence and started listening to it. He was sitting in a small apartment, months after the collapse, eating a meal he barely tasted, when his neighbor knocked on the door. An elderly woman named Rosa, who had lived alone since her husband passed, needed help carrying groceries up 2 flights of stairs. Daniel helped her. He didn't post about it. He didn't mention it to anyone. He simply carried the bags up the stairs, sat with her for 20 minutes while she made tea, and walked back to his apartment. And something shifted. Not in the world. In him. He began to notice that the moments when he felt most like himself, most solid, most real, were never the moments when he was being observed. They were the quiet moments. The honest conversations. The times he admitted to a friend that he wasn't doing well. The mornings he chose to go for a walk not because it would make him productive, but because the air outside was clean and he needed to remember that he was alive. He started therapy. He called it the bravest thing he had ever done, and he meant it, because asking for help when you have built a reputation on strength requires a kind of courage that no audience will ever applaud. He learned something in those sessions that reshaped everything. He learned that anxiety is often the voice of a self that has been lied to for too long. That depression is not weakness, it is the body's refusal to keep pretending. And that healing is not the absence of pain. Healing is learning to sit with yourself honestly, and choosing, every single day, to stay. True reputation, Daniel came to understand, is not what people say about you at your peak. It is what the people closest to you experience when you are at your lowest. It is the consistency between who you are in the room and who you are when the room is empty. It is the help you give when there is nothing to gain. The apology you offer when pride makes it costly. The truth you speak when silence would be easier. The boundaries you hold not out of anger, but out of self-respect. It is built slowly, invisibly, in the unremarkable moments that no algorithm will ever amplify. Daniel rebuilt. Not immediately. Not dramatically. But steadily, the way trees grow, which is to say, without announcement. He started a small project. He was honest about what he knew and more honest about what he didn't. He led without performance. He admitted failures in real time, not in retrospect, not when they were safe to admit. And the people who gathered around him this time were different, not fans, but witnesses. People who trusted him not because of what he had achieved, but because of how he behaved when achievement was nowhere in sight. His reputation, the real one, grew from that ground. The world will always reward the loud. It will celebrate the polished, amplify the confident, and mistake visibility for value. And if you are struggling, if anxiety has hollowed out your chest, if depression has made the morning feel like a mountain, you may wonder whether the quiet, honest life you are fighting to build even matters. It does. Every act of integrity you perform in private is a stone laid in a foundation that no collapse can take from you. Every time you choose honesty over image, kindness over strategy, healing over performance, you are building the only reputation that was ever real. Not the one the world gave you. The one you earned.